So whenever you are ready.
Good evening, Weston. Welcome to everyone that is participating in tonight's forum. I appreciate you being part of the process. This time has been set aside to inform and answer questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out through direct messaging, Facebook to Amanda Keller. If you don't know the answers, we'll get them to you and get back to you on that. I am Gary Siptestead, Western District Administrator. Loretta Pickle is not here tonight, but she's our Weston Business Manager. We are both in our first year in our positions. I wanted to let you know that so that you know that we are not here tonight pretending we have all the answers. We are also confident in where Weston is headed based on a lot of support and resources from mentors and individuals we know who have offered us support. Furthermore, we have partnered with CISA 10 for promotion and advertising, Baird Financial to give us our current outlook as well as future numbers, and finally School Perceptions. School Perceptions has helped develop the survey for the Weston community to give us feedback. I am here tonight to foreshadow information and also foreshadow the survey. I do want to apologize ahead of time. I am disappointed and frustrated to say that you were supposed to have a newsletter that provided a lot of this information in your hands before tonight's meeting. There was a technical problem with the printer that CISA 10 used. The newsletter was shipped out on Friday, last week Friday. You should receive them tomorrow or on Wednesday. Please know that if you have any questions after reading the newsletter, you can reach out to me. I will promptly address your questions. You can reach me at siptestead@weston.k12.wi.us. That can be picked up off our Weston website. You can also call me at 608-986-2151, extension 206. So I want to get a little bit into history here. The Weston community has had a good history of supporting the school through referendums. The last referendum was in 2015. The last building referendum would have been 30 years ago. Projects that have been completed in the last 17 years through a referendum or through the district borrowing through a note, a legal borrowing note, the district takes out. In 2003, the science room project was completed, and that was through the district borrowing, not having to go to referendum. That's illegal. It is legal for districts to borrow up to just shy of $1 million without asking taxpayers through a referendum. In 2015, the high school boiler project was funded through the referendum that was just completed. And our last payment for that was completed June of 2019. And then in 2017, again, through borrowed funds, there was a lighting project throughout the district. We also have seen cost efficiency savings through that. So over the last 20 years, Weston has supported operational referendums about every 5 years, and we definitely appreciate that support. Speaking of history, I definitely want to make sure that we address the clerical error. Many of you are aware that a year ago at this time, a clerical error was discovered on the DPI report worksheet from the last referendum. I want to emphasize that this was a clerical error and no money was lost and nothing unethical occurred. Based on this information, the Weston School Board decided to run the 2021 school year, 2020-2021 school year, using our fund balance, or what some refer to as the rainy day fund. Weston is currently not being operated with referendum funds. This means there will be a considerable tax break on your tax statement that comes out next month. The mill rate has dropped almost in half from last year's rate. In fact, in 2019, the mill rate was $13.27. In 2020, the mill rate is $11.76. And the mill rate coming up for the 2021 year will be $6.25. So you can see that it has dropped almost in half from last year. So what does this mean for the Weston School District? We will be getting less funds from local taxes because of the drop in the mill rate. So some of you may be asking, what have you done to make sure that that clerical error does not occur again? Well, first of all, we have put safeguards in place to ensure that the clerical error does not happen again. We have multiple eyes on our financial situation and will continue to do so, primarily through guidance and advice from Baird Financial. Weston also has looked for ways to address curricular and facility needs over the last 15 months using the money from our fund balance. And I do want to address some of those things that we have done facility-wise as well as curricular and equipment-wise. So curriculum-wise, a printing press was bought last fall for art classes at the middle school, high school. Weston got 10 new bikes for the high school FIAD classes. The music got some equipment and upgrades to organizing the room. The technical education department area received 2 new welding stations along with software updates. The weight room was upgraded. New desks were ordered for four of the 6th grades, 4 of the 7 grades actually in the elementary. And if you haven't had a chance to see it, we did create the Silver Eagle Learning Lab, which is used for a lot of different purposes, including professional development of staff out of the old unused computer lab. Equipment, 2 new vans and a newer used truck obtained. A new oven was ordered and placed. New cafeteria tables, half of the cafeteria tables were replaced, replacing the old ones. Facility upgrades. I'm sure if you've been to Weston this fall, you know, or even this last summer, you know there was a lot done outside. We have all new sidewalks and concrete. The parking lot was tore up and resurfaced with lines and shouldering included. The building was also tuck pointed for future integrity of the building. And then there was a section of roofing on the back side of the building that was also redone. Personnel-wise, we have moved to an elementary principal. We also added an elementary teacher for 6th grade, and thank you very much that we, in this time of COVID, have also added a school nurse. So all of this is to say that your tax dollars have been put to good use and funded many upgrades and improvements. We are here tonight to address 2 pieces of a referendum for this next April. The first and most important question is an operational referendum. The second piece is to look at is a capital improvement referendum question. This is where you all can help in the process by filling out the survey to give us feedback. So I just want to basically address the 2 separate components for the survey. Please know that the survey will be in your mailboxes more than likely tomorrow. If not tomorrow, on Wednesday. And the survey will look like this on the front side. And it will look like this on the back side. And when you open the survey, there is an envelope inside that you can return the survey with. That being said, each survey does have a unique code on the front that you can also do the survey online. So the survey can be done with paper and pencil and returned in the envelope, or it can be done with the unique online code. And again, you should see that survey either tomorrow, Tuesday, December 1st, or Wednesday, December 2nd. So the 2 components of the survey. First component will be the operational referendum. And the survey, first of all, will get into some of the information of the respondents. It gets into some of the townships and everything and the impact. And then also communication. How do you like to be communicated with? The second part, or the page 3 of the survey, does get into the actual operational referendum. And through a lot of work with school perceptions and Baird, especially Baird, we were able to come to the amount. So as I mentioned before, this last year, the mill rate was 11.76. So the idea is obviously to get the mill rate back up close to 11.76. And so what we have found with some of the additions of staff and personnel, and then also with the getting it close to the 11.76, the number that we are looking at is $975,000 over 4 years. And that would take the mill rate to 11.69, so it would actually be 7 pennies per thousand less than it was in 2020. So again, $975,000 over 4 years at a mill rate of 11.69. And then the rest of the survey gets into the capital improvement components. And again, this is a big piece of where we are really looking for you to give us feedback and for you to tell us what you would like to see done at Weston. And so I will just go through these for you. The first one is to improve safety and security. And essentially what's going on there is it would be to improve the high school office remodel as well as the elementary office by putting a vestibule in, which again brings about further safety components, but also efficiencies in the offices as well as confidentiality. Also looking, and this is actually some feedback that we received last year, the idea of upgrading the high school gym floor from the tile that's in there right now to a wood floor. And then also replacing the high school gym bleachers that are not Americans with Disability Act's requirements certified, so the ADA requirement is not met by those bleachers. And then also, obviously, to put a wood floor down, we'd have to replace the tile or tear up the tile in the high school gym. Also on the capital improvement question would be updating the elementary gym bleachers, and again, they are not ADA required, meet ADA requirements as well. Moving on with the capital improvements, replacing the high school roof would also be a piece of this if you so choose to put priority towards that. Replacing the elementary school boilers and updating the controls. Those boilers are the original from back in 1991 and have not been replaced since then. There's a great possibility for higher efficiency and cost efficiency savings there as well. Also, replacing the high school, actually it would be the FIAD or competition locker rooms down here in the elementary, adjacent to the competition gym in the elementary. Those lockers are old and many are bent and dented in. Furthermore, looking at updating the audio and visual systems for the high school gym, and also the music room. So that's a list of the capital improvement questions that will be on the survey. And then when you get to the back of the survey, there's a nice sheet on page 6 here that does also show the tax impact of what it would look like based on if you, the public, would say, yes, we're in favor of all of these capital improvement projects. It tells what the mill rate would go up to. Maybe the public says 2.5 would be acceptable, or 2 million would be acceptable. Those amounts are also in there as well and shows what the mill rate would become. Essentially, again, the operational referendum at $975,000 over 4 years would raise the mill rate from 6.25 to 11.69. The capital improvement referendum, if we would have a second question for capital improvement referendum, that question, if you are telling us you would be on board with that question, That question would be a 20-year referendum, and it would raise the mill rate for 2 million to 12.43. For 2.5 million, it would be $12.61, and at 3.35 million, which would be all in, all of those projects I listed, it would be $12.93. The mill rate would become. And then the last page of the survey does also show what the tax impact is on a typical $100,000 property. So with a 2 million capital improvement referendum, for instance, the dollar amount per month would be $6.16 more to you on a $100,000 property, or $74 per year. At 3.35 million, it would be $10.33 more a month, or $124 per year. So that's a review, and again, I apologize that some of this information wasn't in your hands beforehand to ask more guided or direct questions, but that is the breakdown of the operational referendum, again at $975,000 over 4 years. And then if the public would also give us feedback to direct a capital improvement question, we would put that question on there again, and again, that would be based on the feedback we get, and that would help set the priorities and the dollar amount as well. At this time, I would entertain any questions and hope that I can provide answers for you. And again, if there are questions that we're unsure of tonight, we can get you answers to that later as well. Any questions at this point, Amanda?
I haven't seen any come in.
I want to thank those that have participated in this forum tonight. Please look for further details for another forum coming after the survey has been released, so that there may be more directed involvement and directed questions from you, the voters. I want to thank you very much for participating, those that came out tonight to participate. And as always, we appreciate your support and Eagle Pride. So Lori, I was telling Carrie,